The day the petrodollar sank in Hormuz and the petro-yuan rose.
Welcome to Timeless Hub. Understand the world through geopolitics, history, and wealth.
For half a century, one invisible deal ruled the world. Oil would be sold in dollars. And because of that, America ruled global finance. But then came one narrow waterway, one strategic choke point, one crisis. And suddenly, the world began asking, what if oil no longer needs the dollar? This is the story of the day the petrodollar sank in Hormuz and the petro-yuan rose. After the collapse of the gold standard in 1971, the U.S. needed a new anchor for its currency. That anchor became oil. Washington struck a historic understanding with Saudi Arabia and other producers. Sell oil in U.S. dollars. Recycle profits into U.S. assets. Receive security guarantees in return. The result? Every country needed dollars to buy energy. Every central bank held dollars in reserve. Every trade route strengthened Washington's influence. Oil became more than fuel. It became financial power. And the dollar became king, not just because of trust, but because the world needed energy. Then there is Hormuz, a narrow strait between Iran and Oman. Small on a map, massive in reality, roughly 1/5 of global oil supply passes through this corridor. If Hormuz closes, prices surge. Markets panic, shipping insurance explodes, global economies shake. This tiny strip of water became one of the most valuable geopolitical locations on Earth. For decades, the U.S. Navy helped secure it, which meant America protected not only oil flows, but the dollar system itself. Because if oil moves safely in dollars, dollar demand survives. But what happens when the Guardian becomes contested? When sanctions hit countries like Iran, Russia, and others, a new lesson spread across the world. If your economy depends entirely on the dollar system, you are vulnerable. Assets can be frozen, banks can be disconnected, trade can be disrupted. So nations began searching for alternatives, not because the dollar collapsed, but because dependence became dangerous. China understood this faster than most. Beijing asked a simple question.
Why buy the world's oil only in someone else's currency when we are the largest importer?
China launched yuan-denominated oil futures in Shanghai. It expanded trade settlements in local currencies. It deepened ties with Gulf producers. And slowly, quietly, something new emerged. The petro-yuan, not a replacement overnight, not a sudden revolution, but a gradual option. And options matter, because the petrodollar was strongest when there was no alternative. Now there was one. Countries could diversify, hedge political risk, reduce exposure. That alone changes power. Hormuz is no longer just about shipping lanes. It is now symbolic. Every disruption reminds importers they need multiple suppliers, multiple routes, multiple currencies. Every crisis encourages redundancy. And redundancy weakens monopoly. The dollar still dominates global reserves. But dominance is different from invincibility. In the old system, crises often pushed money toward the dollar. In the new system, some crises push countries toward alternatives too. That is the shift. Let's be clear. The dollar remains powerful for major reasons. Deep capital markets, rule of law advantages, massive liquidity, military reach, network effects. No currency replaces that quickly. But history shows reserve systems do not collapse in one day. They erode in layers. A little less trade settled here, a little more reserve diversification there, a bilateral deal elsewhere. Then one day people say, when did everything begin to change? Usually, much earlier than they realized. This is not merely a fight between dollar and yuan. It is a fight over trust. Which system feels safer? Which market feels deeper? Which partner feels less political? Which future looks more stable? Currencies are not paper. They are votes of confidence. And every oil contract is a small geopolitical vote. The day the petrodollar sank in Hormuz may never appear in history books as one dramatic event. No bell rang. No treaty ended it. No single crash announced it. Instead, it may be remembered as a slow realization. Power always moves. And money follows power. For almost 50 years, oil fed the dollar. Now the world is asking, who will feed the next era? The dollar? Yuan? Any other?